Alright, so this is the same black expedition that I was painting earlier this week. This is the same one I was having contamination problems in the spray booth. I even had to tape down drop cloth plastic all over the walls of the spray booth, and it didn't even help. I had to pull this out. I painted this expedition right on the floor in the body shop, something that should have taken me 2 hours to tape up and an hour to paint. Ended up taking 9 hours. I kept having this really bad, it looked like chalk, like a white powder, and what it ended up being was somebody sprayed white 2K primer inside of the booth on an entire vehicle, and then they sanded it, they block sanded it inside of the booth. And even though they cleaned it out, they tried to clean it out, I mean, obviously it didn't do enough. So this is the factory paint job here. This wasn't painted. This is the paint job I did. These two doors and that fender. I did the rear bumper and the fender on the driver's side fender. So this is the stock paint job, factory paint job, and this is the one I did. Now, it's got the texture that it's got because I gave it 5 coats of clear. And it's because I was getting so much contamination and I kept tacking it off and nib sanding it, trying to clean the base. And even though I had a good base coat, when I went to go spray the clear, I was having the same problem. The driver's side fender came out the worst. You can see there's a little fisheye right here. Now the problem with that, if I try to sand that, block sand that fisheye out completely, this panel isn't gonna have any orange peel. And then it's gonna look something like this. If I block sand this and buff it good enough that it looks like this, then it's not gonna match this, okay? Because this still has some dieback, the factory paint job, so it's got some dieback. Versus this, it's gonna be obvious that it was painted and repaired, and this is a lease return. But for the most part, I mean, it came out good. If I didn't have the problems, here's another fisheye. And here's another fisheye, a piece of dirt. If I wasn't having the problems I was having with that spray booth, I could have used slow activator on my clear coat and gotten this to lay out a little bit more. But another reason I got the orange peel I got is because I used normal activator because I needed this to dry as soon as possible. I didn't want this to stay wet for a long time because it'll just keep taking in more and more contamination. Look at that. Look at this fisheye. Jesus. I mean, to the average person, you're not going to see anything wrong with this. But, like I said, because it's a lease return, you're going to be looking at this car hard, making sure that it didn't have any damage, repairs, or anything. And this was chewed up. Both of this right here, this was hitting. This was chewed up too. And then I painted this fender. This fender came out the worst. Look at this. Look at all that. This is the same shop. This is the same shop that I posted that video about the white Dodge Hellcat. That the front end was all crooked and it was ready for delivery and it was sabotaged. This is the same shop. It's having all these kinds of problems. And I had scheduled an appointment to rent a better spray booth, something a lot cleaner. But I was scheduled for Monday, which was Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. And I guess it wasn't a good day for them. A lot of people were off and they were getting a lot of customers walking in. But you can see there's nothing wrong with the paint job. Okay, this is factory. This wasn't painted. This was. You see, it's not that big of a difference. Just a little skim with 2000 in the buffer, you'll never know. But now it's going to be more than that, because I have these contaminations. Then I just got to buff this out. I was able to do some PDR here and get the scratch out. And I was able to PDR the bottom of this door too. You can kind of see a little bit, right? Like right here. Do some PDR work there and over here, but for what it was, I should have taken a document of what it looked like. And then this rear bumper was painted. I painted this too. This side didn't come out as clean as the other side because it was exposed to a dirty section of the booth, or actually the shop. The whole shop is filthy. I put so much clear coat on here trying to bury everything, and I pretty much did. It's not what you're supposed to do, but what do you do, you know? The color match, you can kind of see that the bumper has a little bit more lust than this, but once this quarter panel is buffed out, it'll look the same. I didn't get any drips or runs anywhere out of. I have no problems with that. Painted, factory paint, aftermarket paint. Okay. So I'm gonna get to this, we'll do some little wet sand and buff, and we'll see what happens. Alright, let's do this. Subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Check out my other videos. If you like the content, you can learn anything. Most of my videos are explanatory, but I know people like entertainment more than they like educational, so I'm gonna try to swap things up a little bit. So subscribe if you like. Thank you.